Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be going over another one of the new uniques that was released with the new Season 2 patch, and that is the Godslayer's Crown. The Godslayer Crown is a very interesting unique item that as soon as I saw it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to incorporate this into my build because this seems really ridiculous. And it is. I've tested it. It's actually pretty OP. First off, let's go over the main stats. So we got 26.2% damage, which does roll between 15.8 and 26.2. We have 17.3% crowd control duration, which rolls between 7.5 and 18%. A very nice amount of HP as well, 605 to 1,310, which is a very nice little bump in your hit point pool. We also have a 7.1% cooldown reduction, which does vary from 6.2 to 10.3. And cooldown reduction on the helmets is a pretty standard stat. I think a lot of people end up going with CD reduction unless they're not using cooldowns. But very nice stats on the helmet all around. The crowd control duration, maybe not the best in the world, but I can see where they were going with this one because this is based around stuns, freezes, or immobilizes. And because it's based on stun, freeze, and immobilize, it does have a lot of generic usefulness across multiple classes, whether you're a druid using immobilizes for an immobilized build, or whether you're a sorceress using freezes, or a barbarian using stuns. There's a lot of different ways that you could potentially utilize this to your advantage. Now, the effect on this, which is actually really cool, is when you stun, freeze, or immobilize an elite enemy, so this only goes with elites, not trash mobs, or you damage a boss, it pulls in nearby enemies, and you deal 60 times additional damage, increased damage, which does roll from 30 to 60, so you might need to find a good one, to them for 3 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 12 seconds. Now, the really cool thing about this is that when it does occur, which is actually pretty darn cool, you basically just get a free pull-in. There's also some flavor text on here. It says, the Savtev faithful believe in 1,001 gods. If it takes me as many lifetimes, I will find and kill them all. Gaspar Stillbane Veradani Outcast. So let's see if we can get the pull-in to occur. We need to find an elite monster first. Let's go ahead and hop on our horse and do a little ride. Oh, I don't have that waypoint. Whoop. Bing. I don't mind ruining my video for a little waypoint. I think the best place for us to go would be the new event area, which is the Blood Harvest. There's plenty of elites in here, and I can show off the effect there. This particular character is based around chills and freezes, so I won't really have much trouble getting the effect to trigger. It does only trigger once every 12 seconds, which means it's not like all the time. So I actually run the corpse tendrils alongside of it, which I think is actually pretty excellent because I like having multiple ways of dishing out these effects. Alright, let's see if I can get the pull-in to happen naturally. So he is frozen. So that was actually it right there, but there was nobody around him when it happened, so we're going to have to wait a couple seconds and try again. It happens all the time as a course of regular combat, so it's not something that you really have to think about or try and make happen. But for the purposes of this video, obviously, I'm trying to make it happen, which, obviously, nothing ever wants to cooperate when I'm making a video, so... the really cool thing, though, is that the damage multiplier that comes from the effect is perfectly timed with the pull-in, which means that you can usually hit all the monsters relatively quickly in one fell swoop. And why is this so freaking awesome? Well, think about it like this. If you're a character like me and you dish out massive amounts of damage in one single spot, pulling in the monsters can be a very effective way to... dish out massive amounts of damage, right? Well, in that 3 seconds that the 60 times multiplier is on the target is right after you pull them all in. So as soon as you pull them all in, they have a 60 times multiplier placed on them, and that 60 times multiplier is going to give you a huge amount of damage to whatever pull-in you've got. So here we go. We've got some doojanks here. So let's just go ahead and start casting our darkness skills, because that's how we get our freezes anyway.
I'm not ready yet.
Well, they got absolutely annihilated. I might not be able to show it to you, because everything dies too easy in here. As you can see, though, I have multiple ways to freeze the enemies, and that's really the key here, is that you have to freeze the elite, right? So you have to actually freeze the elite. Once the elite is frozen, or you stun the elite, or you immobilize the elite, whatever it is that you're doing on your particular character, and that is what triggers the effect once every 12 seconds. So you're just getting tons and tons and tons of pull-ins all throughout a dungeon. Once every 12 seconds is, you know, obviously hundreds of pull-ins by the time you get to the end of a dungeon. The only downside that I find to this is it is a little random, because you can't, like, for instance, tactically, if you want to use corpse tendrils and do the same thing, you could just corpse tendril and then immediately do your thing. But you don't get the damage bonus, which isn't quite as cool. The damage bonus on this is actually freaking amazing. And when it procs, I can tell you for a fact, my experience is that times 60 comes into play, and I can definitely tell. Like, I'll pull a group in with my regular attack, and I'll do my normal combo. And, yeah, they'll die, but it takes them a little while. Whereas when the Godslayer Crown pulls them in, and I get the damage bonus on all the monsters that are pulled in, they just get, like, one shot off the screen, which is absolutely crazy. This helmet, I've only found it really from Duriel so far. There is a list of, like, special items that Duriel drops, and I believe this is one of the ones that he drops. He actually has dropped me quite a few of these, and I've kept the best one for myself. I actually, obviously, that 60 times multiplier is what I'm really interested in. So I obviously took a look at the 60 time multipliers and got the one that had the best effects on it. But of course, you know, with the 10.3% cooldown reduction, along with the insane amount of life on the helmet, it's also just a really nicely rolled helmet. A lot of the times, that's what people will get on helmets, is life, cooldown reduction, and some other kind of thing, like maybe some damage numbers or resistance or something like that. So it actually makes for a pretty powerful little helmet. Personally, I think that this helmet will fit nicely in a large number of builds. I would probably utilize this helmet on a immobilized lightning druid. I would probably use this on a chill freeze sorceress. Probably use this on a stun barbarian. That's a pretty good way you can put out a reliable amount of stuns on the barbarian. And so you could get basically free pull-ins all the time. Your goal with a character like that would be to just target the elites and just use your stun or freeze or whatever on them, and then of course that would trigger the pull-in, so you wouldn't actually need an additional pull-in, which is nice. I'm not really sure. I like the helmet. I'm not entirely 100% sure if I want to keep it in this build. It may end up getting swapped out for something else. Who knows? Maybe I'll find my own Shaco. And then, honestly, I can't really see this as being better than the Shaco with the 20% damage reduction and all the other crazy stuff that's on it. It's kind of insane. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just talking about the Godslayer Crown. And as always, keep watching.